Hello everyone and welcome to RWB International. It's another Sunday. It's another Saturday. It's another league. This time the 2021 GT season, and it's gonna be a big one again. 50 drivers signed up, and we are right now here for the first race of the season around Silverstone. It's definitely gonna be a cracking season for sure. We are in the practice session for now, but the qualifying has happened over the weekend already. And surprise, no surprise, it is Jake Moore with the pole yet again. The man, the alien. It's gonna be interesting to see if someone will mount a big challenge to him, because over the last few seasons and events hosted on RWB, there have not been many who could have challenged him on a regular basis. But we shall see if there will be someone who will mount a challenge. In the second place, we have Ignacy Bucek, the Bentley driver. And I've just lost all of the tracker. Yeah, third place would be for Jack Camaletto for RWB Medley. Fifth for a new name on RWB's screens, Usama Carolina. Sixth for Radek Shula, the classic name that we know mainly from the Constructors season or the Constructors Championship, where he is kind of dominating with a iron fist. Next up would be Emil Plate, Phil Warley, Daniel Barnett, and Mohamed Karoulia. Again, a new name for the RWB races. But this is also the interesting part, seeing new names, new people. As you can see, most of the cars are currently in the pit lane, just chilling, saving their tires, because I do believe we have only one set of tires allowed for the race. I should check the rules before the race. But nevertheless, what should be only one set of tires, it's gonna be a challenge for the drivers. Yeah, let me see. So only one set, 5-minute pit window. So it definitely will be just a short fuel stop for the drivers going in and out very fast. But it's gonna be also that little bit of challenge of getting the braking point correctly, getting the stopping for the pit box correctly, and everything like that. And a big part of a championship like this also deliveries. I mean, everybody likes some cool looking, some weird, some wacky liveries. One interesting here for Magnus Dahlgren in nicely shiny blue Ferrari with the Zingo sponsorship on the car. And we have many more different styles here. Peter Peck for the Apex Czech Motorsport, the Czech driver. Debug in the definitely Ferrari. And also the classics of the monster car of RWB Godzilla Kai Banksy. And definitely many more, like RWB Audi Racing Team. Racing in a BMW, don't get yourself confused. Confusion is part of the fun. We already have some lap times being set, probably just people getting into the grips with the circuit, with everything. Getting hang of the car, how it handles, how does it feel around the circuit. Currently slightly overcast on the circuit, but it's Silverstone. You always can expect some weather in the United Kingdom. It's not always nice and sunny. Also, new name onto the screen, Martin Hughes for RR Leagues. Catching a little bit of grass, a little bit of lawn mowing with a really expensive lawnmower. Let's go for a while on board with Olli Kirten. someone who we would expect to be a big challenge at the high end, at your top 5, top 10. Oli definitely a fast driver, someone who could challenge Jake Moore, but he would need performance every weekend. But he's not gonna be the only one who you can be looking out for. Well, that was a sightseeing lap for Ollie Kirton. Probably just trying to see if everything handles as he expected. Or maybe he's just going to the pit lane as expected with the 5 minutes to go. Probably the driver's briefing would be going underway. The classic messages of RWB. Just take it calm. Don't rush the lap 1, turn 1. You can't win the race in turn 1. We all know it. We've all done it. Just stay calm. Get through the first laps cleanly and then your race can start. We have what looks to be 38 cars. So with 38 people on the track, it's gonna be a tough one to survive for sure. In a few laps, a little bit of door banging can be expected. And yeah, Mohammed also bailing on his lap, so it is gonna be the driver's briefing. And yeah, you will have to remember the number 1 rule of RWB. No fucking flashing. Yeah, just a little bit of flashing. You can flash RWB Charger. We can flash him, but just to make it a little bit easier for the people who are new to the sim racing leagues, you know, people who are not so experienced, don't know how to do, you know, are just starting in the sim racing. It can be really distracting for them. It can be that bit harmful, although on the other hand, you could say that it's part of the racing, you know, you have to, it's part of the repertoire of the things the drivers have for them, but just to make it easier for some, no flashing. I think you can make passes even without it. But let's have a small look through the grid. We see Usama Karolia. I probably spelled that wrong, but okay, for the Simsoc Racing. Simsoc proud partners of RWB, providing sim racers with quality footwear for your racing endeavors. Already mentioned Petapek in the Apex Czech Motorsport Ferrari. The Mr. Debug in the Ferrari that needs an extra Ferrari badge. So that you know there's a Ferrari behind you. Dale Keller for the Grumpy Lamborghini. Although I think there are two Lamborghinis in each other, the other one being the GT Hub Lamborghini of Martin Schaefer, if I'm sure. I already mentioned Kai Banks in the classic monster racing car. RWB Kos, a solid driver of the RWB, solid member. Could be a good. We are expecting good around the top 10 results for him. Jack Cavaletto, also the classic name in the RWB series. Already aforementioned Odin Suen, or as we know him, RWB Audi. Radek Shula. Here we see Wayne Bennett. Interesting color on that McLaren, I have to say for sure. That one already mentioned Ignacy Buczek. They will be starting from the front row. Adam Sharp for Lamborghini. Phil Warley for BR Motorsport RWB machine. Just Forsberg, the Monte plus the Lambo. Well, it is a Lamborghini, but it's an Audi. Kinda same, kinda different. Magnus Dahlgren in the bright blue Ferrari. You're not gonna miss this one for sure. RWB Madly in the rusty McLaren. Our resident American Nate Newcomer. Or the RWB Commune Racing Lexus. So we have finally an Aston Martin for all of you British guys of Iron Simcox. One that you're not gonna miss as well in the bright yellow colors. Emil Sjöblom, really no name, the Goat Racing, the Swede, the Goat friend. Safe pair of hands, but can have a moment here and there. Of course, the head steward, Mad Al, the middle-aged driver in a Honda. The classic Gulf Racing colors of RWB Charger present yet again. Daniel Barnett in the L337 or Elite Racing. David Dorn in the Lamborghini. And then there is the, well, almost finished Tic Tac 7-Up, what was it, Jordan inspired livery. Samuel Kruger in the nicely orange McLaren. And then we have our alien of RS Racing Sim Tools Esports, Jake Moore, Racing Sim Tools, also another partner for RWB, providing you with quality setups for all of your racing needs. And so it is just final few minutes, 2 minutes to make your final preparation. Let's also see who I missed. That would be John Jigzerosk for the FTW Racing McLaren. Also, we had Martin Hughes, John D in the Talksport WRT Mercedes, Javier Eugeni in the Boots Enginion, the art car of the season, probably that it is. We also already had Odin Suen. And we have RWB Pinpoint. Oh yeah, there is Pinpoint. Suen Rai. Oh yeah, RWB Radio in the really purple Beamer. Nigel Wood, the brightly orange and questionably added colors on that Ferrari. The already mentioned GT Hub Boost or HSP Regretta GT Hub EU team Lamborghini. We had Godzilla. Rick Binnersley for the Lamborghini team, just alongside Adam Sharp and David Dawn that we just almost missed. Right now, just final few seconds, 50 seconds remaining before the start of the season, and it's definitely gonna be an interesting one. Oh, and yeah, I missed Emma Plate in the Iron Lynx Ferrari. But it will be interesting. Who is it gonna be into turn 1? But most importantly, who is it gonna be at the end of the race? The interesting question would be, what happens if someone punctures a tire midway through the race? Do they get a new set when they come into the pit lane, or do they just have to retire the car because they don't have any tires remaining? I guess it is for us to find out, as we are starting to roll onwards towards the starting line, towards the lights. Here we go. Eyes to the lights. As the cars are moving and we are racing for the 2021 GT3 season, Ignacy Buczek with a great start tries to go around the outside of Jake Moore, takes the lead already out of the turn 1. A great start from the Bentley driver. Meanwhile, there is a fight going on for P4 between Radek Shula and looks to be Jumet Karolina, the Simsok driver. Behind them side by side, it is Emma Plate and Phil Varley. Look at all the fighting going on. The drivers through the maggots and Beckett's we go, and looks like it has been quite clean start, although we have 2 cars off the road. That would be... Oh, they would... Well, that's RWB flag, and 3 wide they tried to go. Well, they've sorted it out, but it's Ollie Kirton. Oh, it's Ollie actually. Yeah, Ollie Kirton in the Honda. Side by side with Dawn. Maybe he will try to go around the outside into the chicane. But decides better of it. Although he has to defend more from Adam Sharp that is behind him. Meanwhile, it is Rigby Nersley going side by side with Emil Sieblem, and also more cars going too wide. As it looks to be right now. It wouldn't be Kaya Banksy, that would be the Talksport Mercedes. Oh no, it is actually Godzilla in the monster Mercedes with Samuel Kruger behind and Martin Schäfer looming behind them. It is still fighting going on for the position. We are just in around the top 20s. With this Schäfer now up in front of Nate Newcomer and RWB Rachel behind him. And it is Sion going side by side with Nigel Wood. Lots and lots of fighting going on. Mad Al is trying, not Mad Al, Pinpoint is trying to make a charge for it. A little bit of contact between Wood and Sion. Lucky that none of them has spun around, as it was prime place for the Ferrari to go around. But it has hurt Sion for sure, as now it is Pinpoint going to the side of him, but Sion got a great run out of the corner. And now Pinpoint will be under pressure from Martin Topinka. Michal Topinka, I think, should be, yes. But why did this rule tell one for Sion, and this is going to give the opportunity to Pinpoint and Topinka. These 2 positions lost for RWB Audi then. So we have yellow flags behind. Someone is going away, and yeah, that's Dale Keller. Well, let's see what happens to the Lamborghini. Replay? Oh, so there was D-Back, I think, back there, going wide. And what happened to Dale? Oh, the car just snapped on him, and oh, that's a big hit to the wall. Well, Dale has managed to get the car going, but yeah, speaking from his teammate, he's gonna be grumpy. He's gonna be a bit under the weather, for sure. But up in the lead, it is Ignacy Buček. He has taken the lead, but important thing will be if he can keep it. Because Jake Moore is not gonna just take this one easily. He will want to get the P1 back. But maybe it will be on the strategy, maybe it will be on the pace. I guess we shall see soon. Emma Plate currently under pressure from Daniel Barnett. As we're going into the Maggots and Beckett section, there is not gonna be much to be done through here. Barnett has got quite a good run through the final section through Beckett's into Chapel. And now onto the... this would be the hangar straight. But the Ferrari has enough of legs on the Porsche driver. But as you can see, also on the timing screen, the drivers are being kind of split up into different categories, although the scoring is still overall. All of them are currently ranked by the still work in progress RWB ranking system, not by the in-game ranking system, so someone who in-game might be in AM class, well, in AM class as we have someone slowing down. That would be Jack Camoletto. Yeah, who is off track. Let's look at what has happened to the Bentley driver. Going into the corner. Is it just another snap from the car? Oh, yeah, the car just decided that it does not want to grip and off the car went. Lucky for him, he managed to get it stopped while it was off track and did not return back, because if that car went back towards the track, that would be quite an interesting one. And on board with another Bentley we go, Rick Binnersley behind the rear wing of Jack Camoletto. And he has the Mercedes of Godzilla of Banksy behind him. And that's gonna be a threat for sure. As a little bit slidey he is through the turn 1. Silverstone takes a little bit of grass, a little bit of extra real estate. You can get away with quite a lot of track extending around Silverstone. It's not as bad as some other tracks, or maybe as precise, depends on how you take it. But back to the scoring, each driver is being ranked by the races they have done at RWB, by their results compared to also other drivers, and the ranking is still, like as I said, work in progress. It's being finalized, things are changing, so yeah, currently everyone is scoring the points for overall championship. But in the future maybe we shall see a little bit of scoring in a class, which would definitely be interesting. Interesting right now is being Kai Banksy under the rear wing of Rick Binnersley, already looking for a way past. You can see also the train that is behind them. Currently the conductor being Samuel Kruger in the McLaren, but he is slowly catching up to the American of Nate Newcomer. Let's see what happens now. Banksy goes under the rear wing. Now he goes to the inside. Rick Binnersley did not defend that one, and it is upper position then for Banksy. They probably did not feel like this was a fight he was meant to take. But another problem is gonna arrive soon by the name of Nate Newcomer. Nate sporting a little bit different colors this time. Usually seeing him in a dark blue and slightly yellow, as we have David Dawn going through the gravel, through the grass in turn 1. Well, that's not the racing line you wanna take through cops for sure. Oh, and yet another car that just didn't want to grip. And the track is at optimum. Looks like drivers have opted for a low drag setup, and you would expect that for Silverstone, as it's really a track that you need straight line speed. But with that compromise, then you are under big troubles, and someone who is under big troubles would be the McLaren behind, that is RWB Pinpoint. Pinpoint losing position. Good to be to David Dawn. Is David Dawn? It's not that. No, that would be Michal Topinka running wide again. That's gonna allow Audi or Sien to get really close, and Pinpoint is gonna have a tough time defending this one for sure. And something we have missed along the spins and the action that has been going on at the back of the pack. It's Daniel Barnett who has managed to get by Emo Plate, and now he's sizing up Mohamed Karolia. for another move. He gets really close through Maggots, through Beckett's. And we have another spinner. That would be Radek Shula. I'm not gonna even bother with the replays at this point, because it's just gonna be another car that is snapped away from its driver. This one is gonna be a bit more important. Daniel Barnett under the wing of Carolia goes down the inside. Carolia doesn't opt to defend the position, but Barnett not close enough yet for a move. With Shula being spun around in the gravel, both of them also going wide of the track limits. They should be careful about this, even though you can extend a bit. You need to be careful about that. But yeah, with Shula spun around in the gravel, this is a fight for top 5 positions. It's gonna be really good for Carolia for probably what looks to be his first race on RWB. Don't remember seeing that name around here at any point. The top 5 would be really great results to just introduce yourself to the league. But the best way to introduce yourself would probably be with a clean race without any problems and hitting anyone. So from the rear wing of Carolia we see, it looks like the Audi has quite a good speed when compared to the Porsche of Barnett. He just tries any line he can just to get a better run through the corners. In the background you can also see the fight between Emil Plate and Ollie Kirten. But now this might be an opportunity. Barnett has been stronger through here. Yeah, you can see Carolia running a little bit wide. And Barnett was strong through Maggots and Beckett's also on the previous lap. Maybe if he can just get close enough and get a good run through Beckett's. Nicely through there for both drivers. Now through Chapel onto the hangar straight. But the Audi just pulls on the straight really nicely. And nothing to be done for now by Daniel Barnett. Just waiting behind, seeing if there will be any opportunity, maybe trying to force a mistake off of Mohamed Carolia. Meanwhile, from the pack, or from one fight, we go back to another. This Jack Camoletov behind Adam Sharp, the big boy Bentley behind the cheese wedge of the Lamborghini. And also what looks to be probably fight of the Hondas in front of them between Kirten and Shula. Two really fast, really rapid drivers for the Japanese brand. But all of this currently is being held up by Emil Plate in the Ferrari. Yeah, looking from the back, Ollie Kirten, he looks like to be a little bit held up, but it's not like he has a lot of speed that he can't use right now. He's there, about to Ollie. I didn't want to jump from there. Was like, yeah, Godzilla. Yeah, it is Kai Banksy going side by side with Nate Newcomer. Newcomer tries the outside line. Or is this Stowe? I think this should be Stowe. He tries the outside line and hangs onto it beautifully around. Banksy keeps the position, keeps the P13, although goes really deep into the chicane. This will compromise his line slightly. This might give an opportunity to Banksy. Maybe get down inside into there. You're not gonna try that. has just slightly compromised the Mercedes driver through the final section, and that's, even though he made a mistake, he didn't allow Banksy anything as the track flows through there in a weird way. And this is a big battle pack with Martin Schaefer behind them. Martin did not have the best qualifying, but a fast hands for sure. As we see Charger attempting a move on Dahlgren, just shows him the nose, tries to go down the inside, but knows that sticking the car there would probably result in some sort of a collision. So back onto the straight we go. The Ferrari, the tiny Ferrari compared to the big boy that is the Bentley. Yeah, Charger seems to have a little bit more confidence under the brakes right now. Kind of can't find a way through yet. And all of this just in front of the ears of Ian Simcox. Oh, then we have a spinner, and I think that might be Martin Schaefer, who, yep, has, there goes another one. Looks like drivers are finding today a little bit tricky with the cars and the track. But trickiness is gonna be here. Ian Simcox now just behind RWB Charger. Simcox had the inside line into Stowe, but decided to back off, even though he was well alongside Charger. So probably just got scared slightly and could not continue. Oh, through the race. So Wiggly, he goes through the chicane. Charger gets to live for another day. Here we are at the less unfortunate part of the grid, at the back of the grid. It is for Peter Peck and Martin Hughes. Peck looked like he had a better run through the corner, but it was just Hughes taking it a little bit slowly and Peck maybe a little bit too fast. So the Apex Czech Motorsport driver will have to sit down and stay behind the Mercedes. But it is an interesting place to see Peter Peck being. Knowing him, he should be there and thereabouts in higher positions, but when you look at this grid, as there's a nice move being done by Martin Hughes and Peck follows him, would be Wayne Bennett just letting them go and getting on with the race. But I would expect Peter Peck to be a bit higher up the grid, but just look at what we have. All of them, Ignacy Buček, Jake Moore, Phil Warley, Emo Plate. It is tough out there with the people that are really naturally really fast and even with lots of practicing. There was a slight mistake from Martin Hughes and just decides to let Peck go. It is not fight he needs to take. And fair enough for him if you don't want to fight another car. But I personally would just stick there, stick to my place, have a little bit of fight, have a little bit of fun. There is a little bit of defense there from Kos into Stowe. And Kos does not look like he's gonna sell his skin for cheap, as maybe some others did. And it's gonna be a Ferrari on Ferrari fight. Kos slightly deep through the chicane. But we saw drivers go deep into that chicane and it did not harm them much as the track goes after that. Everything currently going really nicely and smoothly for them. Leclerc tries maybe to go in for the outside line, forces Kos to the inside and now compromises his line. Now the switchback is on the cards and Peck gets the switchback really nicely, gets alongside. Kos has to yield as he can't make the corner through the radius that he had. But now also he's under pressure now from Martin Hughes. But Kos defends nicely and Hughes needs to slot behind and needs to stay behind. And a little bit of fighting also going on between Flack and Dale Keller. Also Flack finding himself in a weird position down here. But for sure it will be really interesting to see where he can get himself up to. I think we saw RWB Medley losing loads of positions on the timing sheet. But oh, we just go back in the right moment as there is Osama Karolia spinning around and impeding what looks to be Mohammad Karolia. So looks maybe like brothers or cousins in a fight, and Phil Varley then gets away. And you can see Phil Varley slowing down. Meanwhile, Osama Karolia keeps the position from Mohammad. But let me maybe go back in the replay and see what has happened quickly. And it's McLaren, Varley on the. Oh, that's a big mistake from Phil. He was not even alongside, and also a bit too lucky for both Cairolas. But Varley, that was not an overtaking opportunity there. That was a bit clumsy from Phil. But he saw that he did the wrong thing and then decided to do the only right thing that you can do after what he has done, waited for Carolia, just let him go. But now he's sizing up the other Carolia. Yeah, it will take me some time to remember that name. That'll be 100% reason to remember that name. But it has created a quite nice battle pack for us, as we see Varley defending from Usama. Let's see what now will happen between these four, because Varley all of a sudden looks like he's in a cork in a bottle holding up Usama. And Phil definitely has the speed over them, as we saw he was closing up on him. But he now has the other Carolia in front of him in Mohammed. And as I said, don't be fooled by the AM sticker. Now with this jack carburetor trying to move on ammo plate, the Ferrari driver does not have the speed right now. Ammo plate is slowly fading away through the positions and dropping one by another, so upper position it is for Camaletto, up into P8 he goes. And right now Emil Sjöblom is lining up a move on plate. Ooh, and that is really close for newcomer. Behind only Kirtan. Kirtan had to check up slightly because of the Lamborghini of Adam Sharp in front of him. And Nate Newcomer definitely did not expect that. You could see him just wobbling the wheel, trying to survive, as he had to slam on the brakes to avoid hitting the back of Kirtan. The Lexus just decided to go sliding across the track. But a good run it is now for newcomer. Maybe a chance for the move. Decides to not. Sticks behind of Kirtan. Now goes for the switchback. Yet again the switchback line has worked for some drivers through here. But Nate did not have only on a plate as we saw some others have. He now gets the run onto the Wellington straight. Maybe a move down the inside would be on the cards. Definitely is. Let's see. Under the brakes he tries to go. Akita makes a slight mistake, opens the door. Now newcomer has the outside line. Will he try to hang it around? Possibly tries to. If he can get on the power early enough and force the issue, there will be slight overlap, but he will have the outside line again for this kink. And yeah, he has to just stay behind for the first corner. And gives up the fight for now. But back to the attacking, it is for Kirtan now, really close behind Sharp. There is no way he's gonna get through here. Michaels, Beckett, Chapel, it's just all one line. You can't push the car too hard through here. You can just keep the nose somewhere and hope for the best. And Beckett is now for newcomer. It is either one attack or another attack. You can't just stay put in this fight. He goes for the outside yet again. But no, not this time. The outside turns to the inside into the chicane. And finally, under the brakes, Nate Newcomer has managed to get by Ollie Kirtan. Now he can set his sights to Adam Sharp. Well, unless Kirtan has something to say about this. But he might be able to stick closely behind and mount a counterattack. And now with his emblem, he has managed to find the way past Emo Plate and get himself up into the top 10 positions. Well, top 10, he was already in the top 10, but elevate himself up into P9. And just another nice move under the brakes. Emo did not fight him that hard. It looks like the Ferrari man is just trying to survive this race. And as we go slightly further to the back, you can see the train that is in front of this small pack. Currently up above is being led by what looks to be Samuel Kruger. But now it is the main conductor Charger holding up the Aston Martin of Ian Simcox, and behind them it is Debug and Jixie Rosk. Jixie Rosk probably in the McLaren. Oh, but that's a really bad line for RWB Charger through the final complex for the F1 cars. It goes slightly wide, that gives the opportunity to Ian Simcox to take the position, and now maybe also Debug can jump in and fight for the scraps. He goes down the inside on Charger. Although Charger will have the inside for the next corner. But there is no way he can get by. Maybe there is a mistake from debug. It will force him to the outside line. He has to take to the grass, he has to take off track, and this will also give the position probably to Jixi. If he is not careful, although he manages to keep that position. And we are back to this free then. Oh, and there was a McLaren to the outside, and that surely was Samuel Kruger. How did he find himself there? That's an odd place to end up by yourself, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was helped by someone. That looks to be fighting off with RWB Cos. Let's see as he turns in. Oh, slight contact with the BMW, and even more from the other cars. There was a Lamborghini that was behind him. And we already have an hour gone right now. So we have 1 hour remaining, and we have Marcus Dahlgren in the pit lane, but the pit window is not open yet, which is rather interesting. And I don't think I saw a drive-through penalty for him. Maybe he was thinking that there is no pit window and he just needs to stop, but there is one pit window that lasts only what would be 5 minutes, so it's a really short one. We can expect it probably to open somewhere in the next 10 minutes, probably. Yeah, that is also something drivers will have to calculate with when do they come into the pit lane, because the 5-minute pit window at a circuit like Silverstone, that's just maybe like 1 lap, 2 laps at most that you can go. But you have to stop really as soon as the pit window opens. And there is not much. Well, there is a little bit of tactic that you can play, maybe stopping a lap later. But it is gonna be a really close one. And while we were watching the fight behind, changes have happened up at front, because it is Phil Varley who has managed to pass both Carolia drivers. But he is not pulling away from them as of now. Meanwhile, Daniel Barnett has pulled away from Phil Varley. So that will be a little bit of chasing Phil needs to do. And Radek Shula, after his spin, has managed to catch up to the back of both Karolias. Let's see now, maybe it is a slightly worse run for Muhammad through the... I have no idea what those corners are named. But it is slightly worse run from him now. Radek Shula will maybe have the switchback line, let's see. Brakes earlier. Compromises the corner slightly, but does not get the turning and the acceleration that he wanted from the car. Maybe now in the slipstream to the inside he goes. But not this time around, not this time for the move. But he's being dangerous in the mirrors of the Audi. The classic Marlboro Racing McLaren. McLaren? Oh boy. Yeah, you would say Marlboro Racing McLaren. The Marlboro Racing cars also for the Honda, as the McLaren in Formula 1 was being powered by Honda for the most memorable times. But sure, we really try to go down the inside into maggots, definitely not just trying to maybe scare Carolia just slightly. But ooh, the car goes wobbling on him and almost got collected by Jack Camoletto. But Shula managed to save the car and probably got slightly lucky, and also good presence of mind from Camoletto not touching him on the rear end, as they both survive. And both managed to continue the race then. This is also something that Shula has to be worried about. Slightly wide for Carolia in front of him. Maybe it will be the inside line for Shula this time around. And he gets past the Audi driver, although he gets sent wide. It is side by side now between the Audi and Bentley. Into the right hand we go. Let's see who can maybe come out on top on this one. And this Camaleto now has the inside line. Carolia will try the outside. He has to now sit back, stay behind, and just accept that he has lost the position and continue on, because there are fast guys behind as well who are charging towards him really fast. Another fight has just started here. It is Debug trying to get by Charger. Let's see. Debug has opted for the switchback line yet again. But he also still has Jigsaw behind him in the McLaren. And we have a yellow flag up in front, and that would be, yep, Adam Sharp, who has gone into the pit lane. And that looks like a retirement for the Lamborghini. So he is just slowly crawling towards the halt from the replay. What it looks like, he maybe ran out of fuel or something has happened that he had to now drop down. He's shown in the pit lane, and that's probably going to be the retirement for Adam Sharp. Back on board we go with Debug, chasing Charge, but also having to look into his mirrors, as he has a McLaren that is looking really feisty behind him. Let's see. Jigsaw right now tries to go for the inside into the chicane. Side by side they go through, and Jigsaw does not have the line through there, as Debug manages to get nicely around the outside. And all of this has invited Mad Owl into the fight. Okay, the live timing has gone a little bit crazy right now, as it showed everyone somehow lose a position, but it's okay. Heavy fighting going on right now. Jack Camaleto has finally managed to go alongside with Radek Shula. Excuse me. But Shula is in a feisty mood right now. Definitely does not want to give up his position, as he promptly sends Camaleto wide. Does not allow him into the P6 that the Shula currently occupies. The Camaleto will have to think somewhat differently for the next move. But definitely poised by the comeback that he has made after early mistakes. Most of the drivers we are looking now have been in some sort of troubles. Now let's see, through Maggots and Beckett's, who has the better car? Who can make up more ground through here? It looks like the Bentley has much more speed through the twisty sections. Now onto the hangar straight again, it is for the drivers. But it is Shula with the better run. And I think he wants to get rid of Usama Karolia as fast as he can. Although there is a slight mistake from Karolia. And Shula gets close yet again. And Shula is trying different lines. But he has to choose a line for both defense and attack. He is really in the really bad position, with car in front and car behind being sandwiched between them. Not having any clear moves, but it is a slight mistake from Karolia. And now Shula will have to go around the outside, will have to go around the long way. This plays into the hands of Karolia, who will have the inside line for next corners. Maybe he should be able to survive this one, but Shula could have closed him down. Maybe now he's the outside for turn one. He will have to try to hang on through here. Just decides to back off and slot behind, but now it is bad run through turn one for both of them, and Camaletto gets the best out of them. 3 wide almost we go into Beckett's, into Maggots, and Karolia somehow, some way has managed to keep his position. But in all of that, it has just created a domino effect when anyone could have lost any position. Emil Sjöblom slowly has crept towards this group as the pit window has finally opened. Let's see who can make most of this, but it is almost free wide into the chicane yet again. Camaletto tries to go for it, but he just sees that there is no space for him as Shula just tries to go around the left side, right side, up and down. Any way around it, he maybe can find the space to get past Usama, but no way he can get through, and oh, that was really close between him and the Bentley. Looks like Shula just not as confident under the brakes, has to brake slightly more than the cars around him. But this is an angry battle pack, and someone will have to get out of this fight as soon as possible. And let's see, with the pit window open, who will be the first one to take the chance? But if Karolia goes into the pit lane, you definitely want to stay out. You don't want to just go in behind him and then be stuck under the rear wing of the McLaren yet again. Who is it gonna be? And I think it is Karolia going in as he goes to the left side. Yeah, he goes into the pit lane. So does Camaletto, so he sees an opportunity that maybe he can get by Shula this way as Karolia goes in quite careful into this pit lane. The Silverstone pit lane being slightly tricky because you are braking and turning at the same time, or at least you are braking some way with wheel steering, and you can easily find yourself in the wall. Let's now watch Shula. On board we go, and this will need to be a good in lap. This will need to be a qualifying lap to get himself away from the McLaren. So into the pit lane Shula goes, and that was quite a good pit entry. Now where is Usama gonna be in all of this? It's going to be interesting to see between them. Carola with quite a lengthy. We've seen shorter pit stops, we've seen longer pit stops at 59.8, but we've seen people do it in 51 seconds or even 50. Carolia going out onto the start-finish straight, but Radek Shula already out from the pit lane and side by side as he rejoins with Jack Camoletto. And Camoletto has managed to get by the Czech driver. So big loser in this definitely being Carolia in the McLaren. His pit stop took really long, so probably maybe missed his pit box somehow. And there are gonna be problems for Nate Newcomer, who has not come into the pit lane. And he is still running out, has not served his pit window. So man is currently in P3, but he should not be there. Yeah, so there is a big position gain for him of 8 places, but it's not actually a gain of places. But it is what it is for Nate. I think at this point he should just stay out and finish the race and take the penalty, because if he pits right now, well, it's not gonna count for his pit stop unless he needs the fuel. I think he needs the fuel, yeah, he has to come in anyway, so it is going to be a really double pain for him. As I have missed the pit stop fight for the lead, as Jake Moore had a 45.5 seconds in the pit lane, meanwhile Ignacy Bucek 54.3, that's almost 10 seconds lost for Bucek in the pit lane. That's amazing. So it looks like Jake Moore was going for the really the smallest fuel run possible that he could. And Bucek probably just taking a little bit more fuel, being stationary in the pit lane for a bit longer, maybe also missing his pit box. But with the pit stops being all of them around those 54, 53, 55 seconds, there had to be just a literally 1 liter dash for Jake Moore. But Ignacy does not give up, even though he has lost the lead that was at what looked to be 5 seconds at the time. He has the speed right now, looking at it. He definitely has more speed than Jake Moore. And he has managed to make the pass after the start. Let's see maybe if he can do the pass now on the track without any other help of the start or anything like that. And so Nate Newcomer has been in the pit lane with a 44.4 second pit stop, so probably again same as Jake Moore. Now this one being even faster. He's maybe taken only 1 liter of fuel. And he's in P4, but the penalty will be really big. You could expect maybe up to 90 seconds of penalty, and that's just gonna send him all the way down through the pit lane, or through the running order. But the important part will be definitely the fight for the lead. Who is gonna take it? Jake Moore currently under pressure from the Bentley of Ignacy Bucek. Meanwhile, looking through the position gains, the biggest one being Nate Newcomer, although he's gonna be irrelevant as Ignacy Buczek shows the nose to Jake Moore, tries to put him off into the braking zone, trying to scare him a little bit away, but it's gonna take more than that to scare off Jake Moore from the racing line that he has. Looking back to the pit lane, biggest gains would be probably also Emma Plate, who has jumped 4 positions through the pit stops. And the biggest looks definitely Daniel Barnett, who has dropped 9. Daniel was running in P3, but now running in P12. Yeah, that's a big position loss for him in the pit stops. Let's look at how long it was. Yeah, 1 minute and 9 seconds. It almost looks like he would have taken tires with how long that was, but he couldn't take another set because there is no other set of tires. It was really something to look for, maybe in the interviews after the race, if I don't forget, to hear what has happened there. Now down the inside yet again, Ignacy Buczek tries to go for the move, and there is a contact between the two drivers. And Buczek, oh, he saved the car. I was gonna say Buczek is spinning around, but the Bentley was definitely spinning, or at least sliding through the corner there. Let's see, through the onboard. He goes for the move. And oh, just slight spinners. There is a random. Okay, those cars should not be there. Let's forget about that. That's the fault of the replay in the mirrors. Oh, we don't want to look on the ground. Yeah, maybe Jake Moore turning in and closing the gap slightly too much through the corner. Now he will have to just rethink the strategy. What does he do next time around when he gets closer to Jake Moore? The Bentley has more speed, but Jake Moore has the position. That is the advantage you want every time. Just being in front, being the car in front, it allows you much more freedom when you can just defend and force the other car into positions. Although you could say that you can do the same thing also from behind, as there is a McLaren of what looks to be Samuel Kruger right now that has managed to get in between both of them. Being the lapped car, maybe helping this McLaren teammate just slightly. The gap has now gone slightly almost to the second. And we now jump to Odenseuen, sliding slightly through the hairpins at Silverstone, chasing down Xavier Gini and defending himself from Ian Simcox. Graphics, yes, thanks, work. I have to say the ACC TV is somehow playing with me today. Yeah, Niklas, if you're listening, it is somehow showing sometimes everyone losing a position. Maybe look at it. For others watching, currently using the ACC TV broadcasting tool being developed independently by a group of enthusiasts to the ACC and the league racing. And apart from the small, just visual bug that is right now, the thing, the tool is working really nicely, really helpful, and just allows for a bit more information to be given my way, so I can give the information also your way. It makes the broadcasting slightly easier. There was a fight of the RWB higher up personnel of madly getting by what looks to be the classic Gulf liveries of RWB Charger and setting off on towards the head steward of us RWB, the middle-aged driver Al. And Madly definitely will want to make it as easy as possible, and what it is, Charger, what have you done? Well, let's look at this one in replay. Charger would not forgive me for not watching his best ballerina impressions. Oh, slightly. And around she goes in a beautiful almost 180. Back onto the circuit, and we can go again. After little spin finds himself behind RWB D-back, but also in front of just Forsberg. And Forsberg looks threatening right now. Definitely the tires on the Bentley are not gonna be in the best shape after an hour of racing, and also the spin, they are gonna be slightly flat spotted for sure. Charger is gonna feel it definitely in the corners. Now running slightly wide. Let's see. Will Forsberg try to hang around? No, as Charger has to take onto the grass and the gravel, giving himself a drive-through penalty in the process, and taking another shortcut through again. And this is gonna be hurting for the man for sure. But the racing spirit still lives on in him. Still tries to defend the position from Forsberg, as he has all the right to defend right now, with the penalty. Let's see, as the leaders are slowly starting to creep up onto this group. And this might be something that can help or can harm Jake more. Same way for Ignacy Bucek. Does Forsberg let them both pass? Yes, he does. Nicely sees the leaders behind him. Just decides to keep the position. And Martin, I have a message from Martin Peter. Martin, I can't answer the questions because I don't have enough screens to also look at the YouTube chat and also watch the racing. And also use the broadcasting. I can't look both ways. But I'll grab Charger for a small chat as he goes through the pit lane. Hi Charger. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. How's it going?
Just looking at you, you had a beautiful spin, I saw.
I had two beautiful spins.
Oh, okay.
The first one, the tyres didn't cool out. No, they were overinflated a bit and they were worn, so I spun again. I'm pissed because I was doing alright.
Well, yeah, we saw in quite a good positions. Now behind also, did you get drive through straight for the cutting, or did you have any warnings also before that?
I had one warning on that when I did that cut then, but because I cut the track and I must have gained so much, it gave me an instant drive through. Never seen that before.
Well, how does the racing feel? How does this format feel with having only one tire set and the race being hour and a half long?
It's been pretty good.
Also, Martin Peter apparently had put a bet on you to get the top 20 tonight, so, you
Well,
know,
what's my plan? Sorry, Martin, I've just buggered that up.
well, you have 20 minutes to regain 11 positions.
Yeah, it's
No,
not
no
gonna happen.
biggie, no problem.
I was actually I was gaining on pinpoint there, and I was thinking, oh, I must have conserved my tyres. You know, obviously not going. I'll have to keep cutting out here.
Oh yeah, we will have to fix pinpoints livery for the stream next time around, so just telling you to remind me in case I forget.
All right, no problem. Yeah,
You might.
I thought I had decent pace, and I was thinking, yeah, I'm actually starting to push now.
Yes, that's the worst thing. You are like, okay, feels fine, let's push. Oh fuck, oh no. But I saw lots of people spinning around. I don't know what it is with Silverstone, but the car is just on the edge all the time.
Yeah, I saw a few spins at the beginning, and there's probably going to be a few more. I'm hoping that everyone spins now, and then I catch up. It's very doubtful, though.
Alright, I'll drop you back to the guys so you can focus a little bit more on your endeavors.
Oh, cheers, mate.
Yeah, see ya. So yeah, that was onboard interview from the man RWB Charger. Back towards the leaders, Jake Moore and Ignacy Bucek still locked in a fight as they have a BMW holding them up. Oh, and that's not gonna help Ignacy that much. That probably is Flack? No, that wouldn't be Flack because he's in an Audi. No, that's not Kos. Who's that? Rigel. Yeah, RWB Rigel found him finally. Yeah, Bucek is not gonna be thankful to Rigel for that, as he has lost lots of time and the gap has now jumped all the way to 2 seconds. And this might be it for the fight for the lead, although we have 25 minutes remaining. We are in the final third of the race. Anything can happen, any bad positioned slow car can harm also Jake Moore. But it's gonna be tough now for Ignacy Bucek, the gap here up to 2 seconds. He will need to dig deep to regain that, and we saw when he was behind Jake Moore, he couldn't do much. And how did this happen? Because Mohamed Karolia has found himself in front of Radek Schulas. Radek just slowly peeks the nose down the inside. Karolia has to give him the racing room. That compromises his run through the corners. But Shula has lost some positions while we were talking to Charger. And so now it is just him and Mohamed Karolia again fighting off. We saw this before and Shula has managed to force the issue. Let's see if maybe he can do that yet again. Martin Nate didn't do his pit stop in time. He missed the pit window. So he now is running in P7. But I'm not sure what that would be as a penalty, but I think it counts like the full service with the tires and fuel. I'm not sure how that's gonna work when we don't have tires. But I guess it's just gonna be the 90-second penalty that could drop him down all the way to the no man's land in the 20 positions, somewhere around that, probably. Hey, you can ping me all night if you want. At least there is someone I can talk to. Always makes it easier when you have someone you can just pass the words to and have a small chat about something. You know, you can keep the talking going. You know, it gets slightly easier that way. Only one I can talk to right now is the wall. And the wall is not gonna give me many interesting topics to talk about. I should just keep charging in here. Should have. Meanwhile, monitoring still the fighting for the lead. Ignazi has closed down onto Jake Moore, the gap at around 1.3 seconds. So he is closing down slightly, but what then when he gets behind? Like, what will happen after that? But let's stay with this fight. Ian Sincox and Odin Sion fighting off to be inside the top 20, or at least be in the 19s. It's always nicer to have number 1 at the start of your position than number 2. It is outside line for Simcox that turns now to the inside for the chicane. Nicely down on the brakes, but Sion does not give up. He still hangs on for the second part of the chicane. Maybe he can force Simcox wide through the next section, but Simcox still keeps the position. Has to use a little bit of the tarmac that is off the track, but it is P19 for the brightly yellow Aston Martin. And now Sion does not have a bed made of roses. There's now this pinpoint that is behind him and looking feisty for sure, and Madley will not wait to mount an attack. Ooh, and lots of sliding there from RWB pinpoint. Now this gives opportunity to Madley, and he also has to be wary of the other McLaren of Gixxer behind him. Pinpoint defense to the inside, and Madley now has to hang on to the outside line, and really close between them. Almost a contact as Pinpoint just ran the car as wide as possible. Madley had to get out of that move, otherwise there would be a collision between both of them for sure. And he's gonna be slightly upset about that, I'm certain. And Martin, what scarlet livery are you talking about? Like, who was using that? Because, yeah, Pinpoint should have one as well. And that one was uploaded some time ago, but there was a small problem with that, which I need to fix later. And we have a spinner around. That was the BMW of Sion. So it is gonna be a free real estate for everyone around, and you can see him at the back dropping positions. And slowly also you can see the leaders making their way through all of this fighting that is happening right now. And it's really close. It's under the second, I think, or well, a second between them. And we have just about 17 minutes remaining. Who will finish this race on top? It's gonna be an interesting question for sure. Buček has the pace, but Moore has the position. And there was a mistake. That was a mistake from Jack Moore. What did he do? What happened? See, through the corners we go through Magus Beckett's. Oh, he caught the grass. Had to go through the grassy section. And that was all she wrote. The man, the machine, the alien, Jake Moore, making a mistake under pressure. And that releases Ignacy Buček back into the lead. So change it is. The Polish driver finally has the lead firmly in his hands after the pit stops. And now can Jake Moore put this behind him and start putting in fast laps and maybe regain the lead? It always looked like Buček had the pace over him, but maybe there's a chance for him to make a charge and make a statement that mistake has happened, I can get it back. Oh, the Scarlett Johansson one. Oh yeah. It was somewhat not safe for work to use that livery. And also the file was big AF, so it would not go through the RWB uploading system. I think it was like almost 600 megabytes or something like that. Maybe even more, so yeah, you would not be able to use that one. I don't know if it was Oli just saying not his proudest wank. I'm not gonna further elaborate on that one. Just look into the ACC liveries section. You will see about that. You know, although it is after 10 p.m., you kind of need to keep this stream safe for work. I don't think YouTube would be happy with certain imagery. But we are happy with these images. That is Xavier Eugeni fighting off with Michal Topinka. And the BMW driver definitely will have the speed down the straights. The M6 is known for being a speed demon. Also not the best car in the corners, and there are quite a few corners at Silverstone. But when you go onto the straight parts, the M6 is just going and going and going, and you just can't keep it behind. But Topinka is currently making that. And more things are happening around here with Rick Binnersley and Ollie Kirten both catching up to Muhammad Karolia. Karolia, he has qualified quite well and he's been running really nicely in the top 5, but as the race is going, he's slowly starting to fade away. Even though still a top 10 or being in the close proximity to the top 10 positions would be a great result on your first visit to RWB. But Rick Binnersley definitely will want to say no to that. And the Bentley is starting to be slightly bigger and bigger in the rear view mirrors. And let's see, maybe now, side by side we go towards Maggots. Will he try to go around the outside? No, nobody has balls to do that. Come on guys, little bit of excitement. We need content. Maybe right now, onto the hangar straight. Under the, well, not under, all over the rear wing of the Audi. Well, you can't hide the Bentley under any car that we have here. Maybe the Lexus, but even that would be a hard thing to do. And Binnersley tries his hardest to find a way past Karolia. Maybe trying different line. Karolia had to go deep into the chicane. But once you get through this section, the advantage that you have just goes away. And again we go around the outside. Maybe Binnersley will try. Goes for the inside, but Karolia has that covered up. Rick did not have enough of an overlap to maybe just sneak the nose down there. And also look behind him, there is the Honda of Ollie Kirten, the Williams FW11 style livery. But still Rick is stuck under the rear wing behind Karolia. And there is not much remaining, maybe 5 or 6 laps to go. Rick will have to think of something really fast. Well, he gets a really good run through the first corner. We'll go to the outside and now he has to go for it. He has to stick around the outside, but there is a chance, but no, the corner just does not favor him this time around. And the Audi is still in front of the Bentley, but now we have also Honda in the mix. Let's see. The straight line part now in front of them. No one able to make any kind of progress on the other driver. There will be a little bit of contact between Binnersley and Karolia. Both of them managed to somehow stay alive. And also there is who is David Dore trying to make a move, and somehow, someway, no one has lost a position. After 2 cars were sideways on the track, 2 cars were off the track and no one has lost anything. How? This has to go into the highlights of the season for sure. But again, another mistake. It is for Karolia. Oh, and another touch. It is for Binnersley, but this time around there will be position losses. This was an incident waiting to happen. Binnersley tried to go for the inside, and Karolia is gonna be angry under the helmet. They were in collision once, but they were in collision also second time, and this time around there was no way out of it. And this will be an interesting one for stewards to decide. And it is, no, this one, Nate Newcomer and Ollie Kirten fight for a position on the racetrack, but it will not be a position after the checkered flag and the penalty that gets applied to Nate Newcomer. Meanwhile, we saw Jake Moore in the shot there. He has closed down on Ignacy Bucek, the gap is under 1 second. But what is gonna happen there, we don't know. With 7 minutes remaining, Jake would have to do something extraordinary and put lots of pressure on Ignacy. And we have a spinner in the big background, what would be Rick Nersley probably. As he is now dropping positions like a fly in a freezer. But the outside it is now for Nate Newcomer. Tries to hang the car around the Honda of Kirtan, but unsuccessful this time around. Sticks behind and continues for another lap. And even though he will be affected by the penalty, the racing spirit is still firmly with Nate. He doesn't want to throw the race away just because of the penalty. He wants to continue and fight for as long as he can. But it looks like there is also a little bit of lapsed traffic in front of them. But the Ferrari getting nicely out of the way. And now it was a good run onto the straight for Nate. Maybe he'll try to scare Ollie a little bit into the braking zone. Still keeps the car behind. We continue with this fight. Oh, and that Mercedes went sideways through the corner between Flack and Martin Hughes, as Martin just somehow sidestepped that car out of the way for Flack. And Flack just almost taken the position, but Hughes defended quite well. And so keeps P32 for now. And the fights have not stopped yet here, and Nate Newcomer is into the pit lane yet again. So what is going on with him today? I don't know. I will definitely want to get to know as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Usama Karolia tries his hardest to defend from Odun Sjöen has to go around the outside, and we have 2 drive-through penalties simultaneously for Muhammad Karolia and Rigby Nersley. So what was looking like a great race for Muhammad is turning into a really what would you say, really a nightmare. At this point, drive-through is gonna send him down a lot. as with the final 3 minutes remaining in the race, a train has formed somehow behind Usama and Sion, with also Jixer, Pinpoint, Rigel and what looks to be Forsberg in the mix. So let's see who comes out on top for this group. Sion goes for the outside into Stowe. Will he be able to hang it around all the way the long side around the McLaren? He takes the position into P20 goes Sion, and that has to feel definitely good. Meanwhile, we see Mad Al, I think, that is trying to keep out of the way between these guys. It is Rigel, Jixer and Forsberg. Oh no, that wouldn't be Mad Al, that would be Pinpoint getting around. Maybe there will be still something to happen out of this. Just Forsberg still has a group of cars within his line of sight, and there might be a position up for taking if something happens between these guys. Ignacy Bucek has started his final lap with a gap at around 1.4 seconds to Jake Moore. He just has to finish this one and bring it home. This is gonna be a rough fight here. Forsberg, Rigel, Jixer and Pinpoint, all of them so close to each other. And everyone wants a piece of the another car. Will they try to go free wide? Probably not, but it is outside for Rigel. As he hanging around. Sion managed to do the same move on one McLaren before. And it is another move from BMW, the same one again, and maybe it will be 2 cars in 2 corners. As he tries to go around Pinpoint, a little bit of contact, Pinpoint spins around. And Rigel continues on his way, but Pinpoint just got too deep under the brakes, could not stop the car, and Rigel just could not go deeper into the corner. But it is today's race for this man, Ignacy Bucek. Qualified in second place, had a great start from the front row, took the lead, had to retake the lead again after a mistake from Jake Moore, and it is a victory in the first race of the GT 2021 Season 2 for the Polish driver. P2 for Jake Moore in the end. Phil Varley, after his collisions before, he is coming home in third place. As you can see, Nate Newcomer getting a penalty of 130 seconds. Jesus, that's quite a lot. And I think that's gonna be also an example for others to remember to go into the pit lane. So Phil finally getting himself across the line. Jack Camaletto will come home in P4. And a good result for the Bentley driver, but there might be still some investigations later on for others. So maybe there will be a jump for him in at least points. Emil Sjöblom, a great start for the man. Comes on in P5. I'll be really happy about that. Emil played, he was going up and down in the standings, mainly down, but finishes in P6. Radek Shula coming home in P8. David Dorn, after quite invisible being invisible for the most part. Exxon P8, Ollie Keaton P9, and the final position for the top 10 being Nigel Wood. We just wait also for Daniel Barnett to make his way around. And what a race it was. Also, hi Nate. I have
Hello.
questions.
I didn't know it was a 5-minute pit window, then I can't do math. I looked up right about 25 seconds to go and thought, oh, well, I'm not making it back around. Then I chucked some fuel in it and didn't do it right, and didn't do it right the second time. So yeah, it wasn't very fun.
Well, it was kinda looking good, even though with the penalty when you were first time in the pit lane, but after the second trip into the pit, it was kinda starting to be weird, and yeah, the unfortunate race is it.
Yeah, there's that next week, so we'll try and regroup and get back at it.
I'll try to maybe get our race winner into the chat. So I've grabbed Ignacy Bucek. Hello, Ignacy, are you there?
Yes, give me a second.
So, taking the first win in front of Jake Moore. How was the race from your point of view? Because you got a great start, managed to get the gap, and then you lost the lead in the pit lane. What was going through your head throughout the race?
Difference in tactics. Jake has taken more fuel at the start, so his pit stop would be shorter, and I was running as little fuel as I could for the first stint to be as fast as I can, because I thought he's not gonna give up the lead so easily. And yeah, the back markers were the toughest part. I had to avoid two spinners, and some of them would yield, some of them wouldn't. You know how it is with back markers, so they did play a role in how the fight played out.
But what went through your head when you saw Jake Moore cut through the grass and start losing the lead, and you retook it back in like last 30 minutes? What were you thinking then of the plan further into the race?
I knew I would have an advantage at the end because Bentley is easier on the tires, and I could see he was struggling already. So it was at that point it was just a matter of whoever makes less mistakes. So and yeah, that one slide from him won't change everything.
Right, so definitely looking forward to seeing more of this in the future of this season. It looks like it's going to be an interesting rivalry between both of you.
It's gonna be cracking racing. I'm looking forward to that.
Right, I'll drop you back to the boys in the chat.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'll maybe try to grab also Jake if I can find him. Where is he? There is the speed demon. Oh, okay. Hello, Jake.
Hello.
Well, it was a pole position, and I expected you to kind of just run away with it, but looks like Ignacy had kind of different plans.
Yeah, I know Bojack's quick. He always has been and always will be. So I know it was going to be a good battle with him for the race. And to be honest, he had more pace than me throughout the entire race. I think I got lucky in the pit stop as I didn't split my fuel strategy. I think he did because he had an extra 10 seconds in the pit. So, but I think his strategy was better because I think it was better on the tyres. So, but good for him. You know, I think it's going to be an awesome battle throughout the league.
Yeah, but you somehow managed to regain the lead through the pit lane. But then just that slight mistake crept up to you. Can you tell us like what happened through the Megat and Beckett's?
Yeah, I was offline. I expected personally for the back marker to lift off earlier, so I could get back. Because I didn't know he just like was there, and literally lifted off at the last minute, so I couldn't get towards the curb on the inside. So I was really tight going into the right hander, and it just snapped. So instead of like trying to save it, I just decided to take it to the grass. I thought I could get back on for the right hander, but I was just carrying too much speed, so I ended up just cutting straight across the grass, and it was the safer option. And obviously, I relinquished the position to him, so I didn't gain anything and get a drive through. So, but you know, we're on to the next one.
And I think we can expect payback or a little bit more of a, or let's say that payback for the next race.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be who gets the setup right. I think that his running low on fuel saved his tyres a bit more than mine. But it could be just that he has more pace than me, which I'm happy with. I'm happy to finish second all league.
Finally, different position than the P1, eh?
Yeah.
But I'll throw you back to the boys in the chat.
And we've got Camaletto in here, if that's how you pronounce it.
That's it. You got it right. How's it going?
Well, hi, Jack.
Hello. How are you
Uh,
both?
I think we saw a little bit of trading paints between you and one of the Audis.
Oh yeah, which one was that?
Or was it you? Was it someone? Oh no, it was Rick. My bad.
It was Bittersley. it's,
Hey,
it's always Bittersley.
it's Bentley or Bentley. It's all the same.
Did you enjoy the race?
Oh yeah, I did. I had something to talk about for an hour and a half.
Great, man. That's excellent. I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
Nice. How was the race from your point of view?
It was, you know what? It was awesome. It was awesome. Started in P3, which I didn't expect to qualify that high up at all. Which was nice. But then I don't know if you saw it on at the beginning of the race. I think it was lap 3. I think it was lap 3. I binned the car all by myself, and dropped down to, I don't know, it was P12, P14, something like that. So
Yeah, don't worry. I managed to catch all of the spins in like first half, but then I couldn't be bothered anymore because of this. Everyone
got
was
mine.
all over the place, like yellow flag. Yeah, someone's spinning somewhere.
Yeah. So for me, it was a really cool race. From outside the top 10, racing back to P4. I think I jumped 3 people in the pit, but everybody else I raced on track, and the wheel to wheel racing was awesome with everybody I raced with. There was mostly names I've raced with before, and there was a couple of names I've never raced with, but everybody raced pretty clean, pretty fair. So I think it's very, very good. It's very, very nice to have a clean, competent field.
Yeah, the field, you have to say it's packed with talent for this season.
Mm,
You can just select someone randomly, and you have a good chance of selecting someone who's gonna finish in the top 10 this race or the next race.
that's it. That's it. And of course, we have the top 25 reverse grid now as well for every round going forward. I think that's really going to spice things up because
Wait,
that's
what?
so for the rest of the season now, there is no more qualifying. For the remainder of the season, the positions that everybody starts in is based off of their the championship standings, with the top 25 being reversed. So whoever finished P25 today, they're going to start in pole position for the next race, and whoever finished in P1 will start in P25, and from everybody P6 backwards, they will start in the positions they finished in.
But that's gonna be an interesting one for sure.
Yeah. So I think what it's going to do is basically it's going to really test patience, because if the real fast boys are only real fast when they've got a clear track in front of them and they can't race cleanly, then they're going to find themselves in the gravel or in a wall, trying to barge their way past some of the slower cars if they're starting the P25 or somewhere back there. So it's really going to test everyone's patience, I think, to just keep it calm.
Alright.
90 minutes, plenty of time to make your way through the field, but to try and do so in a very clean manner will be the real test.
Okay, alright, then that's gonna be interesting one. But I guess that's a wrap for this race. Thanks. I'm gonna thank everyone for watching. Thank everyone for racing really nicely today. If you are interested in this kind of racing, make sure to check us out on rwbracing.club. Check out our partners, SimSock and what is it, Racing Sim Tools, for all of your sim racing needs. Also, thanks to Pitfall.live for hosting the live timing and to the ACC TV for giving us the broadcasting tool. It was Racer Soul this evening for you, and I'll be looking forward to the next week.